then the crazy thing was, dude, there was blood everywhere.
Oh my God.
Welcome to Enter the Abyss, everybody. We're back for 2 weeks in a row. Look at us go.
Oh, we didn't see you there.
Hello, you snuck in on us. New beer tonight.
So we are drinking Prickly Pear.
It's a Prickly Pear Pale Ale from Lewis and Clark Brewing Company.
I was promised this was good.
Is it not good? Do you not like it? It's different, but I mean, it's not like...
It's like it's close to like a bitch beer, but not really.
Oh, and what is a bitch beer, Cleet?
No, fruity. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay, that's what I call them too. They're bitch beers. I mean, it's not bad. So our friend Curtis also brought this one back from Montana for us, and when he handed it to me, I was like, prickly pear. I thought it was gonna be really sweet. It's not as sweet as I thought, but it definitely has a sweeter taste from what we normally drink.
It has a pear aftertaste.
That pear is prickly. We are going back to Reddit, and you're probably noticing quite a few Reddit episodes coming from us. In all transparency, it's been really difficult to actually sit down and do our research, because it does take a very long time to get a lot of that research done. And with Cleet doing full-time school, I've got a 9-month-old, both working full-time jobs. It's been really kind of crazy lately. This whole year's been fucking crazy. But we will get back to doing some regular content and everything. And Reddit episodes are fun. It just gives us a chance to kind of riff off of stories on the internet. But hopefully you guys are enjoying them.
I hope this gets better. Do you think like Christmas will be okay in 2020?
You know what? I don't know. I keep thinking every month's going to get better, and it just doesn't. So I think that, but the thing is, though, I also don't think that it's just going to go away in 2021.
Yeah. Well, maybe there's going to be like a Christmas tree born like illness.
Yeah.
You bring a tree in your house, get you sick.
It's like aspen fever.
I like that.
I don't even know if they're an aspen. That's probably the wrong tree. I'm no botanist. Don't ask me. I'm not a big plant expert. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are like, I can't wait for next year. I'm like, why? It's going to be the same shit. It's just not going to end because it's a brand new year. I think it's just mentally where everyone's drained and exhausted.
I think it'll get better. Just give it a little bit of time.
Yeah.
You know?
I think so too. I'll be a little bit more positive. I'm so sad.
Help me
With
my feelings.
Oh, man. But, yeah, I'm not excited about winter. I hate the cold. I hate the snow. I like it when it's a little bit chillier, but
yeah,
we've had a brutal summer. It was hot.
Anything above freezing, I'm good. Like, I put on a light jacket. I love
32.8 degrees.
Once you go under 32, it's uncomfortable. No matter what, I hate it.
You walk outside, you're like, I'm uncomfortable. It must be 32 degrees out
I can literally
here.
wear a T-shirt if it's above 32 degrees. I'm not even lying. I'd be fine.
See, my favorite is a light windbreaker and shorts. I'm good. I'll wear shorts no matter what. It's great. But, we chose the best state to live in because it's going to be freezing from November till June. You know that, right? So
yeah, it's the only positive of going to school while it's the winter. You don't have to really go outside.
Right, and especially now, you probably do all your school from home, so you never have to leave this room.
It's going to board up the front door.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a homebody, so this has been kind of nice, but I'll never take things like going to the store for granted again, because sometimes you just want to get out and walk down the chip aisle, see all the new flavors of Lay's.
The flavor of Lay's. You just go down the aisle and look at the chips.
Yeah, because if you had you've seen all the flavors of Lay's. I'm not the weirdo here, Cleet.
There's some spicy ones. Yeah, chicken and waffles.
Those were good. Are you saying those are spicy, though? Hang on a second. So there's some spicy ones, and you followed up with chicken and waffles?
Just like...
That's spicy to you?
Interesting flavors is what I meant.
I actually really like them.
Those are all right. I'm trying to think of the other ones they had.
They have
biscuits and gravy.
That one was not very good. They had pickles.
Tapatio. That was
I
it.
hate pickles.
Dude, pickles are gross unless I'm drinking beer.
And they're deep fried.
Oh, dude, they're so good.
I won't even eat them then.
Oh,
even if I'm like sloshed and you have me deep fried pickle, I'm not going to do it. I hate pickles.
While driving your car?
No, I don't do that, bro. Not even close. Don't be putting that out there. I don't drive drunk.
Eating pickles.
Oh, you're saying driving drunk, eating deep fried pickles?
You have a ranch cup and a pickle in your hand, driving with your knees.
It's not funny. Driving drunk is not funny.
Yeah, don't do that.
But that story's pretty funny. It's like, who's grabbing the wheel?
You got like some ranch in your beard. The cop pulls you over. You've been drinking?
No.
Dunk.
Do you want a pickle? Okay, so let's... I don't have anything... I didn't watch any movies. You didn't have any 5-star movies on your list this week you want to talk about?
I didn't watch a thing.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a hell of a week, but thank you for tuning in, everybody. We're gonna go back to Reddit, and our Reddit thread tonight is: what is the best unexplained mystery? What do you think it's gonna be, Cleet? What's the best unexplained mystery?
Life.
Yeah, amen. What is life?
Why am I here?
It's all simulation.
What
You
is
know
that?
right?
I'm Rick and Morty. Nobody exists on purpose. What is it? What is it?
Oh God, I don't know. I just like the
Nobody exists on purpose.
"you're stupid and I can prove it mathematically." That's
Yeah.
my favorite quote.
Nobody exists on purpose.
Nobody belongs anywhere.
We're all gonna die.
Let's go watch some TV.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's good old Rick and Morty stuff right there. Okay, so did you want the honors of doing the first one, or did you want me to go ahead and do it?
Yeah, I'll jump in. Sure.
Do it.
So this one is from History Mystery. That's a really good name for this.
Yeah, it is. And history is spelled like hysterical. It's Hystery.
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Probably because someone else already took his name, right? So this one is about the disappearance of Terrence Williams and Felipe Santos. Two men, unrelated, who didn't know each other, disappeared from Naples, Florida, 3 months apart under the exact same circumstances. Both men were last spotted being arrested by Deputy Steve Calkins for driving without a license. Neither men were taken to jail. They just disappeared. His story is that he dropped both men off at the Circle K convenience store.
I just dropped him right off at the Circle K.
Yeah, Bill and Ted.
I went in for
You get
yeah.
the reference? They probably went into a little phone booth time machine. And he just drove away. There isn't much evidence to go on with Santos' disappearance, but his story was actively disputed by the available evidence when it comes to Terrence's disappearance. For instance, he had Terrence's car towed and told the tow operator that the car was abandoned. But there were witnesses who saw him pull over Terrence and arrest him. What did he do with these men?
That's the question.
It sounds like he murdered them. Like that's corruption, you know?
A little bit.
My own theory is he gave them a starlight ride. In other words, he drove them into the wilderness and dropped them off for them to walk home, and they died of exposure/dehydration.
I've never heard the term starlight ride before.
It sounded like really cool until
Until you found out what it was.
it's like, oh, it's not cool at all.
I'm going to give you guys the starlight ride. Like, what am I in for
Like,
right
okay,
now?
all
Because I
right.
don't understand.
And that was the last time I was seen again. To me, this makes the most sense with the evidence, but maybe he's a serial killer. Who knows? Yeah, that's, I mean, to me, that seems like there's some type of foul play going on.
Yeah. There's a little section here on that one where he says, a podcaster just used my Reddit post about the case as the basis for his recent episode. I was pretty psyched. Hey, he's on another podcast.
It's ours.
It's ours. That's weird. Maybe we went back in time. We did a starlight ride back in time.
And now
He's
we're gonna,
talking about us
and now we're going to die.
from dehydration. That would be a shit way to go.
I'm just going to give you a 12-pack of beer, and you're going to have to find the way home.
All right, this comes from Komahine. I probably butchered the hell out of that. The death of Gareth Williams really unnerves me for some reason. He was a mathematician who worked for MI6 and went missing in about 2010.
So MI6, what is that?
No fucking idea.
It's the British Intelligence Agency, equivalent to the CIA in
Oh.
America.
Cool, I knew that. When they investigated his apartment, they found a gym bag in the bath, padlocked shut, and his body was curled up inside.
Oh, I've heard of this, yeah.
What the hell? There was no evidence that anyone else had been inside the house, and on his computer history there was a bunch of fetish stuff about being locked in small spaces, but they got a bunch of people to try and lock themselves in a bag. Some people tried hundreds of times, and even if they could get the bag closed, none of them could lock it. Nobody knows whether his death was an accident or murder.
You know, it just really seems like this is like the perfect story of a guy who worked for an intelligence agency. You know, because like if an intelligence agency is gonna kill him, that's kind of the way they would
Stuff him in a bag and throw him in the bathtub?
But yeah, and then put on the weird like fetish sites
Oh,
on the
so they
laptop
build the
at
story.
the same time, and then it's like, no, he did it himself. You know, but at the same time, like if nobody can replicate it,
He worked for an intelligence agency and he wasn't that intelligent. I'm going to stuff myself in this here bag and go in the bathtub and take a bath. I'll be clean when I die.
All right, this one is from the Fuzzy Bunny 1.
Oh.
Has 169 points. They're talking about the Bobby Dunbar case. In 1912, a 4-year-old disappeared while his family was camping. After a frantic 8-month search, a child matching his description was found one state over in the company of a traveling tinkerer.
Whoa.
The little boy recognized Mr. and Mrs. Dunbar as his parents and seemed to know details of Bobby Dunbar's life. The tinkerer insisted that the child was actually Bruce Anderson, whose mother, a single illiterate poor servant, had given him custody because she couldn't afford to raise Bruce. Julia Anderson traveled to Louisiana to support his story and identified the little boy as Bruce. However, the courts believed the Dunbars instead and convicted the tinkerer of kidnapping. He later won an appeal, but the Dunbars retained custody of Bobby. This sounds horrible.
Serious.
It's like, whose kid is it? 90 years later, Bobby's granddaughter was doing a genealogy project and discovered the old controversy. She had her father and her uncle, son of the younger subset brother, take a DNA test. The test proved that Bobby Dunbar was not related to the Dunbar family.
No.
What? He was Bruce Anderson all along. So what happened to Bobby? That's so weird. So how did he have memories of the kid?
I don't know. That's weird. I don't understand. And he positively identified the parents, too. Like, he recognized Mr. and Mrs. Dunbar and seemed to know details of his life. That's really weird.
Well, at least the tinkerer didn't, go to jail for a crime he did not commit. I mean, he was just being a good guy. He's like, yeah, I'll take care of this kid.
All right, this one comes from Holy Moly M. In 1997, a baby in my neighborhood disappeared in the middle of the night. Oh, Jesus. I can't even imagine, Again, I have a 9-month-old, and if he went missing in the middle of the night, we have that little camera above his bed, I'd freak the shit out. It was a safe, suburban neighborhood zoned for the best schools around. It's usually how it happens. I remember hanging out and talking to the police who were stationed outside their house. She was never found, and no one was ever charged. Lots of speculation that the parents were behind it, but no one knows for sure.
Oh, that just makes me sad.
Yeah. 97, man.
There's a lot of missing kids in the U.S.,
and it's just getting worse, man. We got did you get we had an Amber Alert yesterday?
Yeah. Dude, those things blow up your phone. They just keep ringing.
They found her 4 hours later, 5 hours later.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's some random couple that stole an 8-month-old, and they ditched the car they were looking for because they found him so quick. It was all right, but.
So somebody did, in fact, kidnap the kid.
Yeah, they kidnapped a kid and stole their car.
Jesus Christ.
But they found her, so that's good. But yeah, those Amber Alerts go crazy. That little alarm that you get, it's like, Jesus. Especially in the middle of the night, freaks you out.
This one is from Crazy Kirby 97. The Oakville Blobs.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
Right? What is it, like Jell-O? Basically, it started raining one day, and citizens noted that the rain wasn't water. It was a strange jelly blobs. It happened 6 times in the next 3 weeks, and mass sickness followed. Oh, that's it?
And the end. It rained some jelly. People got sick. The end.
That's it. Okay, fine.
All right, cool. Cool story, bro. This one comes from RPLST8. I haven't seen mention of this. The disappearance of Pennsylvania District Attorney Ray Gricar in 2005. Gricar had previously investigated sexual misconduct charges against Penn State football assistant coach Jerry Sandusky in 1998.
I heard about this. Somebody killed him.
Gricar didn't have enough evidence at the time to press formal charges and dropped the case. In 2005, he went missing, and his car was discovered in the parking lot of a roadside business north of State College, Pennsylvania. His laptop was found in a nearby stream with the hard drive removed. Ooh, that's sketchy. In 2011, after a lengthy grand jury investigation, Sandusky was finally charged with sexual abuse of a minor. Ugh. Gricar's body was never found, and officials deny any connection of the Sandusky Penn State abuse scandal with Gricar's disappearance.
Dude, that's bullshit, dude. He straight up got killed because he looked into it.
Oh, yeah.
Those people are powerful. They make a lot of money.
Yep.
Whether the college was involved or whether it was just Sandusky. This one is by Lady Dee.
Caso de máscaras de chumbo or lead mask case.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm going to jump into it. On the afternoon of August 20th, 1966, the lead masks case. On October of August 20th, 1966.
On October of August 20th? Are you fucking high?
Yeah. On the afternoon of August 20th, 1966, a young man was flying a kite on the Morro do Vintim. I don't know how to fucking say that. In Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I'm not correcting that. When he came upon the bodies of 2 deceased males and reported them to the authorities. I've heard of this. The Morro de Vintim had difficult terrain, and the police were unable to reach the bodies until the next day. When a small team of police and firefighters arrived on the scene, they noted the bodies' odd conditions. The males were lying next to each other, slightly covered by grass.
Oh.
Each wore a formal suit, a lead eye mask, and a waterproof coat.
The hell?
They were dressed for something. Who knows? There were no signs of trauma and no evidence of a struggle in the surrounding area. Next to the bodies, police found an empty water bottle and a packet containing 2 wet towels.
That's so random. This whole thing is fucking random.
They're probably just trolling. They figured out they were in a simulation. They're like, we're going to fuck
They're
with these
under
people.
grass with a suit, with waterproof jacket, a lead mask, and then a bag of wet towels next to them.
Yeah, dude, they're the trolls. A small notebook was also identified in which were written the cryptic instructions. 1630, estar no local determinado.
That's very good Spanish.
Yeah, I know.
Good for
And
you.
it's going to
I
keep
don't know what
going.
it means, but
1830. You know what? I'm just going to read the English version. All right, 1630, be at a specific location. 1830, ingest capsules after the effect, protect metals, awaits signal mask.
what the hell?
It's so weird. During the last day alive, the 2 men bought a bottle of water from the bar and kept the receipt so they could return it later.
Who goes to the bar and buys a bottle of water?
Yeah, that's suspicious.
That's for the. I'll have your finest bottle of water, please.
I'll have a Perrier.
Grand Perrier, sparkling, please. Oh, it's not in France. It's in Brazil.
Well, it's a Perrier, man. I mean, you got to be French to get it. I'm sure they sell it.
Oh, you have to be French to get a Perrier?
Yeah.
I've had a Perrier. I'm not French.
You are now.
I am now. Oh, it don't make sense. Oui, oui.
Oh, oui, oui.
Jesus Christ.
So they expected to survive whatever they were about to do.
Like buying a bottle of water, it means you expect to survive?
How else are they going to drink the capsules? Have you ever tried to swallow pills without water?
Yeah. It's hard, but it's doable.
Most plausible theory I've heard is that the men were hippie spiritualists who believed they could communicate with aliens or spirits using psychedelics, and they must have died of a drug overdose. Kind of sounds like you on the weekends, Britton.
No, I mean, I don't need drugs to talk to aliens or spirits. I can just do it.
But, God damn it. He's crazy.
It's a good trick. I'll teach you sometime. All you need is a rubber hose and some super
You
glue.
just put it up your butt.
Oh my God! No, that's only on Thursdays.
You imagine that? You die.
The whole hose, man. Are you talking about the whole hose?
You turn on the hose.
Oh my God!
All right.
That's not cool, man. That when I was, that's
But what psychedelics cause drug overdoses with no signs of a struggle? And what is with the masks and the raincoats? Just weirdness.
just weirdness.
Yeah, I remember seeing that on like Unsolved Mysteries. It's just weird. I don't know, man.
Hang on. So they. Oh, okay. So I missed the part because I was reading one of the comments because it says they kept the receipt so they could return it later. I missed that part because the next comment down here says, I don't think that keeping a receipt for something like that is enough reason to believe that they were planning on returning it. Who would return a bottle of water?
Yeah, it sounds like they were going to drink it with the pills.
Yeah, I missed that part completely, so that's a little bit more weird. I'll have a bottle of water, a Perrier, and I need that receipt. This one comes to us from Burnout by Night. The one that still holds my thoughts to this day is the disappearance of Kyron Horman. 7-year-old Kyron allegedly went missing from his school one morning after his stepmother went in to see his science fair project and was last seen by her walking down the hall to his first class. He never made it. The trail runs pretty cold after that. The stepmother was suspected after it was found that she had made phone calls to a random island off the coast that day, but nothing ever proved itself of valuable evidence. She just made some random calls to some island. That's normal.
Also, an insurance policy was taken out right before the disappearance. Kidding.
Eventually, it was revealed that the stepmother had asked the family's landscaper to kill her husband months before Chiron's disappearance. The landscaper was asked to wear a wire when speaking to her about it, but nothing came up. The father and stepmother divorced, and he has a restraining order on her.
So they just never found the kid, I'm assuming.
So that's it. We just don't know what happens. He just
I kind of feel like they should have like put that in the story, like the kid is still missing.
Yeah, seriously.
Kind of went on a different tangent and never really like connected it.
It's like the disappearance of this kid. Oh, and then this guy has a restraining order on his wife, and that's it. Moving on.
Later,
okay.
she escaped to the zoo and lived with the gorillas.
I think she went to the penguin exhibit. Cold-hearted bitch.
This one is from Sheer Cold 24, the Eileen Moore Lighthouse Mystery. On December 26, 1900, a supply ship arrived at the Eileen Moore Lighthouse to find that no one was at the dock waiting for them. The island's only inhabitants were the lighthouse keepers James Ducat, Thomas Marshall, and William MacArthur. Captain James Harvey was in charge of the supply ship and had brought along Joseph Moore, a replacement lighthouse keeper. After attempts at getting the lighthouse keepers using the ship's horn and flare, Joseph decided to go up to the lighthouse to check things out. When he reached the lighthouse, he immediately knew something was wrong because the doors was unlocked and 2 of the 3 coats were missing in the entrance hall.
Someone stealing coats from a lighthouse? That's a fucking criminal offense right there.
Where are the lighthouse keepers? I don't know.
Where are the coats?
As he reached the kitchen, he noticed a half-eaten meal and an overturned chair as someone had left in a hurry.
What an asshole. They only eat half the meal and then flip a chair.
Sounds like Thanksgiving.
That's a different story for another time.
After searching the lighthouse, top to bottom.
You gotta say that again. That was stupid.
After searching the lighthouse top to bottom, Joseph hadn't found signs of the lighthouse keepers. Further investigation was made and found mysterious entries. December 12th, Thomas Marshall noted the severe winds, the likes of which never seen before in 20 years. He also noted that James Ducat, a principal keeper, had been very quiet, and that William MacArthur had been crying. Wow, that's like a horror movie right there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he just keeps crying. I don't know why.
The tears won't stop flowing.
The strange thing is that on the mainland, MacArthur had been known as a tough guy and was a seasoned mariner, so now he's just broken down in tears. December 13th noted that the storm was still raging on and that the 3 men had been praying. It's strange because all 3 of the men were seasoned mariners and situated about 150 foot above sea level. They should have known they'd be safe, so why they'd be praying for the storm to pass over? The final log on December 15th read, "Storm ended. Sea calm. God is over all." This is like an actual like freaking like scary movie.
What would you do if you came across that log and you're reading this and it's like...
I wouldn't stay in that damn lighthouse as a replacement guy. Like, okay, well, you go live here for 3 months. I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go back.
I know we talked about movies at the beginning. We've talked about movies a couple times. Have you seen the movie The Lighthouse?
Nope.
It's a black and white movie. It's new, but they filmed it in black and white, and it's one of the most trippy mind fucks you'll ever watch. Like, literally, I still don't know what's going on. It's like 2 lighthouse keepers that, like, lose their mind during a storm, and they like imagine things, and you can't tell what's real and what's fake. And I mean, it's weird, but you should watch it. I think it's pretty good.
I'll have to check it out.
Fucking Buddha opened the door. I just see the door open behind us. Ladies and gentlemen, Buddha the cat.
She has entered the room.
But anyway, okay, let's
back
continue.
to the story. Stranger is that there were no reported storms in the area on the 12th, 13th, and 14th of December. That's weird.
Geez, it's a mind storm.
It would be even weirder if it like on the 15th there was like a terrible storm.
Oh yeah.
It's like opposite.
It's like, what the fuck? Is it going backwards in this lighthouse?
In fact, the weather in the area had been reported as calm. The most accepted theory is that the men were swept into sea and drowned. However, questions arose about why the bodies had never washed up on the shore as well as some others. Yeah, I don't know. That's really weird. I mean, why would they be crying if there's just like a storm? Like, what's going on?
Storms are kind of sad.
I feel like if it was like really bad and there was like a reason, they'd put it in the log. And like, oh yeah, there's like fucking zombies out on this island trying to eat us.
It's raining razor blades and they really hurt.
There's a razor blades. There was a tornado and it hit a razor blade factory. We're all gonna fucking die.
Yeah, the creepiest part about that is definitely the log. Like,
oh yeah.
I just imagine coming across a book or like a journal that has just creepy, cryptic stuff like that. But I don't know.
I think I know what happened. Now I'm
What?
thinking about it. The Mary Celeste went to the island, and they're like, "Come aboard. We won't disappear on this ship."
Okay, so this one comes from Good Username 22.
Ooh.
So there's 21 other good usernames out there. This is the 22nd one.
Interesting.
Good for you, buddy. Good for you. This is known as the Vanishing Triangle. During the late 90s, 8 young women in Ireland disappeared without a trace. Ooh.
They're probably drunk.
It's Ireland, it's fair to assume. No bodies were ever found. No substantial evidence to link anyone to the disappearances. No clues as to what happened to the women, and all within an admittedly very broad area the media started calling the Vanishing Triangle. One of the women disappeared in broad daylight, and another just outside her parents' house. While the cases aren't officially linked, the popular theory is that there was a serial killer or kidnapper. A man named Larry Murphy, who was arrested in 2000 for rape and attempted murder, is a popular suspect. But he's always denied it, and there's no real evidence to link him to the other cases. Oh, they gave us a second one. Look at that. I get a bonus one. Look at this.
Bonus round.
Also, the assassination of Juvenal Havyarimana and Cyprian Natariamaria. Jesus Christ, Natariamira. I'm sorry, I did not pronounce those properly. Don't come up on these lists of unsolved mysteries, but there has never been enough evidence to point to any one group in particular. The assassination kicked off the Rwandan genocide. The main suspects are Hutu extremists who went on to carry out the genocide, and Paul Kagame, who became the president of Rwanda after the assassination. There's also evidence that members of the French military working with the Rwandan Presidential Guard were involved.
That's kind of a weird theory of Black Panther. Rwanda, isn't that the civilization?
Wakanda?
Damn it.
Yeah.
It's close. I was like 50. That was close.
I'm sad. Chadwick Boseman died, man.
Yeah.
Good old Wakanda.
Next one. It's from Bomb Brigade. If anyone has more information, please tell me. In one of my college ancient Western civilization classes, my professor talked about an ancient Greek civilization that was pretty powerful. Then something happened. There were records by the Greeks of people from beyond their border speaking Barbar, not Greek. They weren't there to conquer or trade, but to flee from something. The Greek civilization built a massive fortified wall on their border. The wall was destroyed. The Greeks gave up a large section of their territory and then built another wall. The wall fell as well, and they retreated again and made another wall, this one almost 3 times as formidable as the first one. The final wall was destroyed. The Greek civilization ceased to exist after that. What is truly strange, however, is that the civilization that was attacking was never mentioned by the Greeks by name. No description characteristics about them. At the walls that were built, there were only Greek weapons and armor. There is nothing about the other civilization. If you know what I'm talking about, can you tell me what the event war / whatever it's called? It's hard to read up on something that doesn't even have a name to it. This happened before the rise and fall of the Minoans. That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, it is.
It's like this crazy force just destroyed them.
Oh, hey, Buddha. How's it going, kitty? Yeah, that's a weird one for sure.
Hey, Buddha. It's nice to meet you.
She jumped up on me and then climbed all the way over to you.
It was a
almost
power
falling.
play. It was a power play.
She's like, oh, hey, I don't want you at all. You're just a fucking stepping stone at this point.
I think cats do that, like, legitimately. Like, if
and
I
then
have people...
And then she's jumping down. She literally just wanted to walk across me to you to get to the floor.
When I have people over, she, I was in the kitchen once, and she'll, like, walk in the middle of the people, like, between me. See, look, she's blocking you from me right here.
Good, because I'm going to punch you. He is like...
She's like the Greek protecting. Ow, Buddha, help!
She's just watching. Oh, eye contact. I didn't mean it. Okay. This comes from Shitlordius Prime. I think we found our...
Dude, I didn't know you had a Reddit account, Britain.
Yeah. No, I'm Shitlordius Prime 12. This guy's the legit Shitlordius Prime. Had to send him an email. That takes the username award for tonight for sure. I haven't seen this mentioned yet, but Ricky McCormick. A man who reportedly could barely write his own name was found dead, with notes in his pocket resembling a code.
Yep, heard about this one.
Ooh. Cryptologists have been trying to decipher the code for several years. The FBI eventually released the notes to the public asking for assistance, in the hopes someone might recognize the code or be able to crack it. The FBI is like, guys, we're stumped. Help us. Some have speculated that it's about drugs, some that it's his medication list, and many presume it's nothing more than gibberish. It still raises the question, who killed Ricky? What do the notes contain, if anything at all? Why do people tend to die with mysterious ciphers in their pockets? I don't know, do people usually die with mysterious ciphers in their pockets?
Well, I think on that previous one with the people that ate the medicine died with the water bottle, I think there was something written like in their coat jacket that wasn't brought up.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a couple stories of that happening.
It's a good trolling situation. Just write down a bunch of like randomness and then, have people figure it out. I've often thought about this case and looked over the notes several times. There are repeating letters such as TFRNE, WLD, and PRSE that lead me to believe that there really is a message in them. That's bizarre, man. That's
yeah, it is. One. So this username was actually deleted, but they put the missing 411 people, which we've alluded to a couple times. So basically, people go missing in national parks all the time with weird similarities. Children go missing 15 feet from groups. Then months later, only a bone or two is found in areas that have already been searched. Dior Coons was camping with his mom, dad, grandparents, and family, friend. His parents went for a short walk thinking that their son was being watched by the grandparents. When they returned, the boy was gone. According to statements made by the Lemhi County Sheriff, the family members had been cleared of any criminal involvement. There was a massive search for the boy without finding any evidence of him in the area. Weather did hinder search efforts as it was raining in the days immediately after the disappearance, which this is actually like a commonality. Like usually when there's like a weird disappearance like this, there's like crazy weather patterns. Mm-hmm. I was contacted by a retired USFS employee who lived in the area and kept me updated on the events. They stated that the local newspaper had almost nothing about this event, which the area population thought was strange. The FBI came into the investigation 2 weeks later. Dior vanished. If you have been reading my Missing 411 books, the arrival of the FBI seems to coincide with the profile points I've identified in my books. There is nothing new on this event in over a month. The area of Dior vanished is very, very remote, with a rough dirt road. As I stated in this article, it's almost ridiculous to believe that a human perpetrator drove the single-lane road into this region and took Dior. He hasn't been found. Here's another story by Chilliwack Lake Province. I don't fucking know. What? Sajeet was with a group of friends walking a large, well-known trail from the vehicle at the parking lot to Linman Lake. He stated he wanted to run ahead and meet them at the lake. When the friends arrived at the lake, he was not there. The Chilliwack Search and Rescue Group was not notified along with RCMP. Just days later after the hiker vanished, a helicopter search found his body in a boulder field far off course from the lake trail. Doug Frazier was an SAR supervisor on this event. A June 7, 2015 article from CBC News had this from Doug. It was very, very strange and difficult to explain why he ended up where he did, said Frazier, adding that the boulder field is quite a bit of elevation above the lake and a far distance from the trail. An autopsy showed that Sajeet died of blunt head trauma. That's weird. Ugh. Yeah. It was a belief of some that he fell and hit his head. How did he end up in the boulder field? Where did he fall from? This incident matches other cases involving a boulder field. You know, this reminds me of another case that he covered, which is not on this. But it was like, I think it was like in England somewhere. And like literally a guy like was just found dead on like a pile of coal. But like his injuries like insinuated that he fell from like a distance from the sky.
What the hell?
Isn't that weird? I'll have to look it up. But yeah, that's it for this post.
Just conveniently landed on a bed of coals then, huh? All right. Well, this one comes from a username that was deleted. So we'll never know
Coward.
who posted this one. I find spontaneous human combustion really unsettling and fascinating as well. Essentially, what happens is a person is fine 1 second, and then out of seemingly nowhere, they go up in flames as if they were doused in gasoline. In most cases of this occurring in public places, such as parties, the victim is able to be extinguished before death or serious harm can occur.
Wow.
Mainly in parties, huh?
Well, you know, it is interesting, though. If you've seen the cases of whatever that's called again, I can't remember.
Spontaneous combustion?
Yeah, like they literally burn. Like their bones are gone. Like straight up. Like, and for that to happen, like it has to be a really hot temperature. It's like when you get cremated, like that, you got to get really hot. And it takes hours upon hours for it to happen. But in these cases, they seem to happen within like an hour and they're gone.
Jesus.
Their whole body. Like, and there's usually like a leg or arm left.
I just can't imagine. Some victims of spontaneous human combustion are not so lucky, however. Several cases involving the elderly, disabled, diabetic, or all of the above results in finding a pile of ash. The outermost extremities, such as the hands and feet, while most of the bones are charred into calcified dust, except the spinal column.
Told you.
What the hell?
Dude, it's weird.
While flammable material nearby like a wooden chair or bedding remained untouched by fire, it's almost as if the flames emerged from within the victim. Most reported cases claimed the victim was a heavy drinker or smoker, lived alone, and was noticeably overweight. What I personally think is happening in these cases is, and I know it sounds a bit outlandish, but bear with me, the victim is sitting alone at home in their lazy boy, possibly depressed. Oh, Jesus. Yes. They just finished to handle a very high-proof alcohol, and they're experienced alcoholics, so despite drinking enough to kill a child, they hold consciousness and decide to light up a cigarette. The flame from the match, alcoholic burps, tummy full of flammable liquid equals no bueno. The burp, or possibly just the incredibly boozy breath, caught flame from the match. The flame then traveled down the person's esophagus and potentially through the trachea and into the lungs, and eventually into the sloshing sack of flammable liquid they called a stomach, which would result in a rather grisly sight. Jesus Christ.
Can you imagine seeing that at a party? Let me just light up my cigarette here. Oh, my God.
Some lonely, and what he says, like, obviously overweight person.
It's so rude.
Like, the person writing this was just like, they're like having people. Like, seriously, they have something like it sounds
or
almost
they hate
like
overweight people. I'm sorry to be insensitive.
They just sound like they sat down and like, I'm gonna write about something. Like, this isn't just an explanation. It's like, what was it? What did he say?
It ends their miserable life.
Like just the what was it? The eventually into the sloshing sack of flammable liquid they called a stomach. Like, Jesus Christ.
It's full of hate.
We're not done either. That's the funny thing. Naturally occurring methane within the body could also act as a catalyst. There's a theory called the Wick Effect, which essentially states that the human body combined with the clothing they are wearing acts like a reverse candle, in that a candle has an outer layer of wax with a wick running down the middle. A person's clothing acts like a wick, and their body fat acts like the wax. Yes, animal fat, including human fat, burns. So a drunk person falls asleep with a cigarette in their mouth, and it falls onto their shirt, which starts the process. There have been tests conducted on pig bodies to simulate the Wick Effect, which seemed promising, but the bones did not burn.
That's the big thing about the theories, because the bones like go into dust.
Yeah. And there's a comment from I Hate My Life 421. I'm sorry, buddy. They proved how it occurs. Go Google it. They just don't know what the ignition source is. Well, it's obviously a cigarette from an obviously very overweight human being. I don't know, that was actually pretty fun to read. That was just a very descriptive idea of spontaneous human combustion. So you're welcome, and thank you so much. Deleted comment, great.
So I bet he deleted that on purpose.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to have people asking me like where I got my resources from.
This one is from Not a Bot. There was this creepy daycare in Salt Lake City. God,
oh, I've heard about this, dude.
I hate those people from Utah. All right.
They're horrible. I've heard about this one, though. In fact, my sister-in-law's friend was talking about it. She actually wanted us to cover it, so yeah, this might be a prerequisite.
Mm-hmm. The internet was obsessed with it about a year ago. I actually driven past this, too. No one ever saw kids go in, and assumptions were made that there was something nefarious about this daycare. What the true purpose of the daycare was a mystery.
Well, if there's no kids going in, what are you daycaring about?
I don't know, dude. The CIA, MI6, freaking
YMCA?
what, the YMCA. We could never get around to solving the mystery. Admins and moderators on Reddit banned all discussions, and all the individuals who were in a position to shed some light on the matter, people like the landowner, neighbors, journalists, etc., resorted to making overly patronizing remarks that went along the lines of, "How dare you question this daycare?
How dare
Shame
you."
on you. It's perfectly normal."
Daycare without children. Things are great here. I've reached the bottom of the list, but there's another one here I'll talk about really quick. It's not going to take too long. It's from Deleted, and it just says, existence itself, really. Biggest mystery, man. I don't know.
You ever just look at your hands and go, why?
Why? What is this?
Or just have your mouth agape and walk through, like, public?
Oh, no, we're getting into, Diet Love Pass, which we've talked about. It's a good one. People died on the mountain. The death of Elisa Lam we've talked about as well, where they found the girl in the water tank. But we've officially reached the end of the rope here, Cleet. So
wow.
We've gone through a complete Reddit thread.
What a bunch of fucking mysteries.
I don't know which one is the most extreme.
It's too bad there weren't too many twists.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan
Damn
did
it,
not
I
write
didn't want
any
to
of
say
this.
it this episode. All right, M. Night Shyamalan
You didn't
sucks.
want to. You didn't want to say it, but you heavily hinted at it, and I'm not just gonna let that one. It's like a low-hanging fruit. All right, guys. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us. If you have any suggestions or anything you want to hear from us, or if you want us to completely stop doing what we're doing, reach out to us at entertheabysspod@gmail.com or on Facebook at entertheabysspod.
And as always, thank you for entering the abyss.
Until next week.
Until next week.
Until next week.
Until fucking next week.